After 13 years in some sort of finance-related environment, 10 years working in banking and 3 years studying finance, I've seen one pattern repeat itself over and over. And that is most of the suffering in someone's financial life comes from caring too much. This constant over-caring isn't just exhausting, it's actively preventing you from becoming rich and building real wealth. I know because I lived it. I've seen countless professionals fall into this trap, and I was stuck in the same cycle myself. And it wasn't until I learned to break free that everything transformed. So in this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 surprising things you're likely caring about too much, including one that may just surprise you. And I'll talk about exactly how to break free from this cycle to build real wealth. The first thing that you need to stop overthinking is other people's opinions. I wanted to mention this first because I know this is a thing that holds so many people back. Back in December of 2022, my YouTube channel started gaining a lot of momentum. It went from 1,000 subscribers to 10,000 in a few days, and then another 10,000 a few days later. And during that time, what I feared the most came to light, and that was other people's opinions. I was forwarded messages of group conversations with people I know in them, not strangers on the internet, but actual people from my life. And the anxiety hit me so hard. Seeing them mock something that I was working so hard on, I very, very, very nearly gave up. I was so close to hiding all the videos and just deleting this entire channel. It's crazy to think about that now, but if I cared about their opinions a little bit more, I know exactly where I'd be today. I'll still be in that job that I hated, making less money and living a life that felt completely wrong for me. I'll be living the life that they wanted and expected me to live, not the one that I actually wanted. When you let other people's opinions stop you from doing something you want to do, you're not just giving up on that one thing, you're giving up on all the possibilities that could come from it. You're closing the door on opportunities that you can't even see yet. Because being rich isn't just about making money, it's about having choices, feeling confident and being free to build the life that you want. And you can't get there if you're stuck worrying about what everyone else thinks in every moment of your journey. The moment you stop caring so much about the negative opinions of others that are holding you back, that's the moment that you start getting richer in every way that matters. Before we dive into my next point, I want to share something important. After seeing thousands of people struggle with this same pattern, I'm hosting a free Design Your 2025 workshop on Sunday, January the 5th. In 75 minutes, I'll show you how to transform that mental energy you're spending on overthinking into a clear financial strategy that actually moves you forward. No more worrying about what others think or trying to keep up with everyone else's path. In the 75 minutes we have together, you'll discover how to identify the one goal that truly matters to you, not what others think you should do, to make 2025 your best year yet. Then we'll go into the money architecture. I'll help you calculate exactly what you need to do to make your transformation a certainty, not just a possibility. No more guessing, just real numbers and a clear plan. And thirdly, we'll go into a month-by-month roadmap that turns your overthinking into momentum. When I applied this system, it didn't just help me reach my goals, it completely changed my relationship with money and success. It's about having a plan for yourself that is so strong that no amount of overthinking can sidetrack you. You can reserve your spot completely for free by clicking the link in the description or going to nischa.me/design your 2025. Next up, other people's paths. Imagine 2 world-class runners competing in a one-off event. Both have the same personal best time, but their strategies couldn't be more different. When the gun goes off, sprinter A locks in on her lane and the finish line ahead. That's it, nothing else exists. But sprinter B, she can't help herself. She keeps glancing over at sprinter A, trying to figure out if she's ahead or behind, if she's going too fast or too slow. Who wins? Sprinter A. Every time. While she's completely dialed in on her own performance, sprinter B is so busy checking what the other person is doing that she throws herself off her game. She loses her rhythm, her focus, and ultimately the race. This isn't just about sports, it's about life, money, and success. And it takes me back to a quote by Peter Thiel, which is, the key isn't to compete, but to escape the competition completely. Every time you compare your career to someone else's, every time you measure your progress against their milestones, you're being sprinter B. You're taking your eyes off your own lane. And I know this because I used to do it constantly. I was that person frantically trying to match everyone else's timeline, getting the same certifications, chasing the same promotions, fighting for the same opportunities. And it was completely draining. And worse, it kept me stuck exactly where I was. Real wealth, the kind that actually changes your life, doesn't come from running someone else's race. It comes from building something that's completely yours. Maybe it's finding a corner of a market that nobody's noticed yet. Maybe it's developing a skill at your workplace that makes you irreplaceable. Or maybe it's just designing a life that's so perfectly fitted to you that you stop caring about everyone else's timeline. Next, we have keeping up appearances. Here's the thing. There's a massive difference between looking rich and being rich, and most people get it completely wrong. It's explained perfectly in the book The Millionaire Next Door, how the millionaires aren't living the lifestyle you see on Instagram. They're in fact driving used cars, living in normal neighborhoods, and wearing regular clothes. They're the ones that are probably being the smartest with their money. While everyone's imagining millionaires with yachts and private jets, the real ones are quietly building wealth without all the flash. If you want to build actual wealth, you need to stop focusing on trying to look the part, because when you do, you get trapped. It's called the hedonic treadmill. It's an endless chase for bigger, flashier things that you think will make you happy, but they never do. You just end up needing more and more to feel the same buzz. And then the gap between looking rich and being rich, it just keeps getting wider. If you think about it, every dollar you spend trying to look wealthy is a dollar you could have invested in something that actually makes you wealthy. Stocks that compound over time, real estate that generates income, a business that grows in value. Instead, you're pouring your money into the thing that loses value the moment you buy that. When you're so focused on keeping up appearances, you're not moving closer to build real wealth, you're just getting better at pretending you have it. Number 4, and this one might just surprise you, it is not caring too much about money. It sounds backwards, but it is absolutely true. According to the law of detachment, caring less about making money often leads to making more of it. Don't get me wrong, money matters. Being organized with your finances, saving, planning ahead, having a clear vision of where you want to get to, that's all important. But being obsessed with how much you're making, that kind of obsession can actually block you from building wealth. And I lived this myself. When I left my investment banking job, I walked away from a 6-figure bonus a few months before it hit my bank account. And I talk about it more in this video here, but I did it to reclaim control of my life. Looking back, that moment of detachment became the turning point that led me to make even more money than I did before. And I love explaining it using this analogy. If you think about holding sand in your hand, the tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. But if you keep your palms open, the sand stays put. In the end, it's simple. Shift your focus from making money to creating value. When you concentrate on solving other people's problems and adding real value, the money naturally follows. And my favorite quote is Zig Ziglar's, "You will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want." Yes, money matters, but let go of obsessing over numbers. Focus instead on the impact you're creating and the value you're adding. And that's where real wealth begins. And number 5 is people pleasing. Have you ever agreed to an expensive group dinner that you can't afford just to avoid being the one who says no? If you're nodding along, you're very likely not alone. According to YouGov, nearly half the population identifies as people pleasers, and more than 2/3 admit they'll do anything to avoid conflict. But here's the thing, people pleasing isn't just exhausting, it is quietly sabotaging your financial future. Saying yes to every expensive dinner, event, or group trip because you don't want to let anyone down is actually stopping you from building wealth. Without having boundaries in place for yourself, you're going to get trapped constantly doing too much for others while sacrificing your own path to wealth, your own path to freedom, and your own path to success. So every time you think about saying yes to someone else, think about whether or not it's a direct no to yourself. The next time you're faced with an invitation or a request that stretches your budget, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, is this aligned with my financial goals? It's okay to say no, and it doesn't have to come with the guilt. Saying no to what doesn't serve you is really saying yes to your future. So those are 5 things that I stopped caring so much about, which allow me to shift my mindset and build real long-term wealth. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Otherwise, I hope to see you in my workshop on Sunday, the 5th of January.